Dating as a single father was complicated enough without being worth $200 million. Lucas Bennett had learned the hard way that mentioning his position as CEO of Bennett Technologies on first dates led to relationships with his bank account rather than his heart. So when his sister convinced him to meet her friend's colleague Sophia, he decided to try a different approach. "Girls, remember what we talked about?" Lucas whispered to his 4-year-old twins, Emma and Lily, as they approached the corner table at Rosewood Cafe. "Today, Daddy is just Lucas, who works with computers, not the boss of a big company." Emma, clutching her pink stuffed rabbit, nodded solemnly. "And we live in the little apartment, not the big house." "That is right, sweetheart," Lucas confirmed. Though he felt guilty about involving his daughters in even this innocent deception. He had dressed down in his most casual white shirt and oldest jeans, left his expensive watch at home and chosen a modest neighborhood restaurant instead of the upscale establishments he usually frequented. The woman rising from the corner booth was even more beautiful than his sister had described. Sophia Martinez appeared to be in her late 20s with flowing blonde hair and an elegant mint green skirt paired with a crisp white blouse. She looked professional and sophisticated, exactly the kind of woman who usually lost interest the moment she realized he came with 2 small children and a complicated schedule. "You must be Lucas," Sophia said with a warm smile. That immediately put him at ease. "And these must be the famous Emma and Lily I have heard so much about." Lucas was surprised by how naturally she addressed his daughters, kneeling down to their eye level instead of the awkward adults-only greeting he usually encountered. "I am Emma," announced the twin in the pink dress, holding up her stuffed animal. "This is Bunny, and that is Lily." "Hello, Emma and Bunny," Sophia replied seriously. "And hello, Lily. I am very excited to meet all 3 of you." As they settled into the booth, Lucas found himself impressed by how easily Sophia engaged with his daughters. She asked about their favorite games, listened carefully to Emma's elaborate story about Bunny's adventures, and even helped Lily color on the children's menu without any signs of impatience or discomfort. "So, Lucas," Sophia said as the girls became absorbed in their coloring. "Your sister mentioned you work in technology. What do you do?" "Computer programming, mostly," Lucas replied, which was technically true since he had started Bennett Technologies by coding software applications. "It pays the bills, but it is not the most exciting work." "I think technology is fascinating," Sophia said genuinely. "I work in marketing for a nonprofit that provides computer training to low-income families. We are always looking for volunteers who can help with basic programming instruction." Lucas felt a pang of guilt about his deception. Here was someone whose work aligned perfectly with his company's charitable foundation, and he was lying about his role in an industry she clearly cared about. "That sounds like meaningful work," Lucas said honestly. "It must be rewarding to help people gain new skills." "It is," Sophia replied, her eyes lighting up. "Technology can be such a powerful tool for economic mobility, but only if people have access to training and equipment." As lunch progressed, Lucas found himself genuinely drawn to Sophia's passion for her work, her easy rapport with his daughters and her apparent lack of interest in material displays of wealth. She admired Emma's careful coloring rather than his choice of restaurant, asked thoughtful questions about balancing work and parenting rather than probing about his income, and seemed genuinely content with the simple pleasure of good conversation. When the check arrived, Lucas made a show of checking his wallet with concern, a performance he had practiced for this exact scenario. "Is everything okay?" Sophia asked, noticing his expression. "I am so embarrassed," Lucas said, trying to look authentically worried. "I thought I had enough cash for lunch, but I seem to be about $20 short. I can call my bank and see about getting my debit card unlocked, but it might take a while." He watched Sophia's face carefully, wondering if this would be the moment when her polite interest turned to judgment or disappointment. Instead, Sophia reached for her purse without hesitation. "Do not worry about it," she said easily. Lunch is on me today. I cannot let you pay for our first date, Lucas protested, though he felt his heart warming at her immediate generosity. Why not? Sophia asked with a smile. Lucas, you are a single father raising two beautiful daughters while working to support them. The least I can do is buy lunch for people I am enjoying spending time with. But this was supposed to be my treat, Lucas insisted, genuinely moved by her kindness. There will be other treats, Sophia said confidently, then caught herself. I mean, if you want there to be other treats, I would very much like to see you again. Lucas felt something shift in his chest. Most of the women he dated were either put off by his children or saw them as obstacles to overcome. Sophia seemed to view Emma and Lily as integral parts of getting to know him, not complications to his eligibility as a partner. I would like that very much too, Lucas said, meaning it completely. Over the following weeks, Lucas continued his deception while falling genuinely in love with a woman who packed picnic lunches instead of expecting expensive dinners, who brought books for the girls instead of flowers for him, and who never once asked about his living situation, his car, or his financial prospects. Daddy, Emma said one evening as Lucas tucked her into bed. Why do we not tell Miss Sophia about our real house? Lucas felt the weight of his deception growing heavier with each passing day. It is complicated, sweetheart. Sometimes grown-ups want to be sure about important things before they share everything. But Miss Sophia is nice, Lily added from her twin bed. She brings us books and teaches us games. I think she would like our real house, too. Lucas realized that his daughters, in their simple wisdom, had identified exactly what was wrong with his approach. Sophia had proven her character repeatedly, and continuing to lie to her was becoming a betrayal of the trust she had shown them. The next morning, Lucas made a decision that terrified and excited him in equal measure. He invited Sophia to dinner, not at another modest restaurant, but at his actual home, the sprawling estate in the hills that reflected his true financial situation. I have something important to tell you, Lucas said when Sophia arrived at the impressive front gates, her expression shifting from confusion to understanding as she took in the mansion before her. You are not actually a struggling computer programmer, are you? Sophia asked quietly. I am the CEO of Bennett Technologies, Lucas admitted, leading her into the elegant foyer. I lied because I wanted to know if you could care about me and the girls for who we are, not what we have. Sophia was quiet for a long moment, processing this revelation. Lucas, I understand why you felt you needed to test me, but I have to ask, what made you think I would be interested in your money? Experience, Lucas said, honestly. Too many relationships that ended when women realized that dating meant sharing my time with Emma and Lily, or that started only because they learned about my wealth. And what did your test tell you about me? Sophia asked. That you are exactly the kind of woman I hoped you were, Lucas replied. Someone who sees value in people rather than possessions. Someone who loves my daughters for themselves. Someone who would pay for lunch without thinking twice about what it cost. Sophia smiled, though Lucas could see she was still processing the implications of his deception. Lucas, I fell for a single father who was working hard to provide for his children and who clearly adored them. Your bank account does not change any of that. And the fact that I lied to you, Lucas asked, needing to know if his deception had damaged something irreparable. The fact that you were protecting your daughters from people who might not value them properly tells me you are a good father, Sophia said thoughtfully. But Lucas, if we are going to build something real together, it has to be based on honesty from now on. 6 months later, as Lucas and Sophia announced their engagement at a Bennett Technologies charity gala focused on providing technology education to underserved communities, Lucas reflected on how much his approach to relationships had changed. You know, Sophia said as they watched Emma and Lily play with other children at the elegant reception. I am glad you tested me, even though I wish you had not felt it was necessary. Why? Lucas asked. Because now you know that I fell in love with the man who reads bedtime stories and makes silly voices for stuffed animals, Sophia replied. The CEO part is just what you do for work. The father part is who you really are. As they danced together while their daughters giggled and twirled nearby, Lucas realized that the most important test had not been whether Sophia would pay for lunch, but whether she would choose to love a ready-made family with all its complexities and responsibilities. She had passed that test every single day since they